Hey guys, hey, it's Dale Walker, Whole Shot, back with Mr. Green. It's Sunday. Yesterday on Saturday I went ahead and test fit the Black Widow header 4-2-1 on Mr. Green. So I thought I'd just come back today and give you my opinion about that and the install and some other news real quick, what we were talking about with the tuner versus flashing. So I had a nice call with Chris Moore at Moore Mafia, and I watch a lot of his videos. He's a sharp young guy, super fast, very good tuner, and I'm not going to get into flashing. So anyway, being a drag racer, I thought I'd give him a call, and he knows a lot of my history and all that good stuff, even though I was kind of racing probably about the time he was born. But very nice guy. And so we're going to go ahead on this one just for kicks and everything. I'm going to send him the ECU. I'm going to kind of tell him what I did to the air box and what I'm doing. And then we'll put it on the dyno. And we'll look at it, and then I'll probably send it back. I'll make a kind of a private unlisted video for him to see. And then I'll send it back, and he can tweak it a little bit, and we'll get everything just right. And make the fan come on sooner, and a few other little tricks, and maybe a little bit more RPM on the rev limit, which really won't be needed. But if you ever put a set of Z900 cams in this thing, hint hint, that may help. So anyway, that's what's going on as far as that front. Like I said, I do have my tuner sitting right over here. It's kind of a bittersweet. I'd like to just stick it right on there, take out the secondary, see what I can get out of it, which I could probably do very well with. But I think for what's going on right now, until everything calms down, we know that certain performance parts can be installed for track use. I'm going to kind of lay low on new tuners and stuff. So anyway, so let's get into the install now. So I'll see you back over on the bike in just a second. All right, so got my camera stuck on my tripod. It's my gimbal. Anyway, so as far as the Lextech and this installing, they're very similar. This one was a little tougher to get up into the ports. The header pipes don't move around too much, and you definitely want a helper. The exhaust gaskets that come with the kit, this is the Black Widow we're talking about here, are about twice as thick as a stock gasket, but they're a compression type. You know, they will compress to about half the size, but you know, the studs are sticking out more. You get plenty of thread. You just got to play with it, have a helper with you, get one side started, kind of wiggle around on it, tap on it, make sure that the spigots are all into the port. Okay, and then what you do is just put a nut on, lightly, not even snug it, just start it with about 3 threads on each one. Work your way around. Sometimes you got to pull one back out a little bit, whatever, but I still think it's better to do that than sticking the header tubes in the ports by themselves and then trying to be able to assemble the collectors, because they're a nice fit. They're pretty snug. And all that stuff's going to be under load and tweaked around, and I think it's a lot harder to get the whole header assembled after you put the pipes into the ports than assemble the header on your workbench first and have it just loose flopping around. Springs are easy to pull on. I have little spring tools, you know, no big deal. You can use about anything, but these are handy, you know. I did this for a reminder here. So, what is a pain in the ass always is two things are, of course, the flanges, like I was talking about, don't have a little bump on them, so they want to fall down when you're putting the header up there. So that's why an extra set of hands on the other side, you know, have a buddy help you, buy them a beer, whatever it takes. And but what I did is I use a teeny bit of this. This is 3M, just weather strip adhesive you can buy at an auto parts store for, like, you know, the rubber weather strip. I've been using this for years, and this is black.
And don't get it all up in the port, but you can pop the other gaskets out, use a little pick and pull them out, originals. Here they are right here, all compressed, see? And they're pretty tight in there. You got to get a pick behind there and pull pretty tight, but pretty hard, but then they'll come out. Okay, I'm going to sit down for a second. Oh man, my foot hurts. Today I have 2 compression socks above my knee and a knee brace. I'm doing it though. Anyway, so yeah, so what I like to do is use some contact cleaner or brake clean on a clean polishing cloth or rag. Clean up all in the port really well. The gasket surface, once you get the gaskets out of the port, then obviously I got to use the contact cement, the 3M weather strip adhesive, a very tiny little bead on just the very outside edge of the port surface where the gasket's going to mate. And then you do a very tiny little coating on the gasket itself. Doesn't take much. And let them all sit for just about 5 minutes, and then you can stick them right up in there with your hand. And you know, you got the contact cement on both sides, and they stick up in there real nice. And if you just use a little, there's none spooging out in the port or anything like that. You can always wipe it off a little if you have to, but that's what I do. A lot of times I'm doing stuff by myself. So you get that in there, and then you go ahead and get your header up inside there and install, and then the flanges, you just want to go over those crown nuts, you know, the exhaust stud nuts there, evenly, very lightly snug them. Don't tighten them yet. That way you can still move the header around just a little bit, even though you really don't have much wiggle room. Okay, then the header fits really good down here. The Lextet fit good though, too. What I do need to do is trim off this ugly bracket that was part of the heat shield for the stock pipe. You don't really see it, it blends in, but I'm getting rid of it. Anyway, so yeah, it uses just 2 springs instead of 4. They just V together right here. That's clean, easy. Yeah, the 1 and 4 are the top 2 tubes, primary tubes, and the inner 2 and 3 are the bottom 2. And then the header is a teeny bit longer in here. It's about 1.5 inches longer overall length than the Lextech. Diameter, header pipes to here, collector is all the same. This is just a little longer right here. Alright, so then you have the rear mid pipe put on there. Okay, right now I don't have the extension pipe, which is this, to mount one of my mufflers or any aftermarket muffler, as long as the snout will slide over 51 millimeters, 51.5. It's just a hair over 2 inch. So I've got the stock muffler here mounted up on there. And with the stock muffler, see, it kind of hides the little spring mounts. Without it, and you tried to put a slip-on, those are going to be hanging out. I was thinking of cutting them off and buffing them off, but you'll see, no matter what, when you clean up that weld on there, it's going to be there. So anyway, that's a pretty clean setup. A lot of people want to run the stock muffler. It does look good. I got to give it that much. Stock muffler's still heavy. And some guys have emailed me, hey, I really want to get a pipe, run the stock muffler because it's still going to be, you know, quiet that way. No, that's not the case. This muffler it's not totally straight through. It is a straight through core, but it makes some wiggles in there, and it's kind of squished down a little bit. But it's raspy and rowdy sounding. So anyway, whatever. It gives you that option of doing that. I'm going to go ahead and mount up the my 14-inch street core and my 10-inch bad boy on here and let you see that also. So, but what I'm going to do is, before I take this one off, I'm going to get the camera set up real quick, and then I'm going to start it up for you. I'll do a little startup. I don't have any sealer on the pipe yet. I got to take it back apart, but they don't leak even without sealer. So anyway, let me do that, and I'll be back, and we'll take a sound clip real quick here. Okay, guys, we're going to start the bike up with the Black Widow 4-2-1 with the stock muffler put on there.
cold, so it'll kind of flutter and idle a little high for a minute. Yep, that's going to be about as loud as my 10-inch bad boy with a raspier tone. Okay, so, all right, now what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the, I don't know, I'll pick one, but I also want to show you something real quick. I'll bring it over by the camera. So, let me see here. A little mid pipe that slides on the header like this, and then it spring mounts. Okay. This shows the muffler back even further. I cut 5/8 of an inch off the end here. That way I don't have to make an additional bracket hanging off the foot peg bracket here. They, even on their slip-on, the Black Widow, I see a bracket hanging out about this long, and I don't like it. It's just one more thing on the bike. Yeah, it works and everything, but then the muffler's even shoved back further. So I took 5/8 of an inch off here. My muffler slides on, and then my muffler clamps towards the front of the muffler, but it's still past the rivets, got plenty of support. The muffler snout on my muffler is really strong the way we make it. And also my end caps have about a 4/1000 press fit into my can, then riveted. They're in there. So anyway, let me install, well, just for an example right this second, let me put on the 10-inch bad boy first, because that's going to be the louder one, and I'll show you what it looks like and everything, and we'll start it. Okay, here's the 10-inch bad boy. I wish that thing was as quiet as the 14th Street, because it looks so good. These are my mule dyno mufflers, so don't judge these mufflers. These are little blems, and it's just a raw core that's got some scrapes or a little minor dent. Anyway, plenty of clearance here, real nice to the swing arm. With the stock muffler on there, you even got more than this, which is no concern. And you got to remember, this is with my sag already set, and just the weight of the bike on the center, on the rear race stand, doesn't compress it at all. I jacked it up with the oil pan, and it doesn't move. It starts coming off of the buttons here. So that's pretty much full droop. So that's a good thing. That's nice. It's a nice tucked up mid pipe. I like that. So anyway, here it is here. It's sturdy as can be. My mufflers are really light, yet they're really strong, well made. So even though the clamp's way up here, I have quite a few other ones like that, even with longer mufflers. It's once you tighten this snout here and tighten this, and these are our latest ones. We got the new rubber in there with the press on there, so it's nice. That'd never slide out. So yeah, one thing I should show you though underneath the bike is, oh geez, now I got the stupid, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there's the O2. Get my hands dirty. Right there. The wire's really easy. You don't even have to, it just flops right under there. It goes in front of the little frame tube. Then you put one nylon tie or two. I have just lightly tied now because I'll be taking the header back off. Probably to take it all apart. Okay, let me set this down. Sorry for the shakiness. Maybe adjust this slightly. Screwing everything up. And let's start this bad boy up. Literally, bad boy. Okay, 10-inch bad boy. You just heard the stock muffler.
this, and the bad boy is badass. So, that's a little louder than the stock muffler, but a much nicer, deeper tone. And it's going to definitely outpower the stock muffler a little bit. I know that because I designed that core for a year. So anyway, so that's that one. Let me swap it out. We'll put the 14 Street on it. Be right back. Okay guys, there's the 14 Street core. It's still not too long. It's just longer. It's not sticking past the tire or anything. The Lex Tech was, you know, about 3.5 inches further forward, maybe 2.5 or 3, because you're not, you know, I had a different mid pipe on it, didn't have to have this extension. But anyway, like I say, it's got plenty of engagement, stronger than hell. Still looks good. This makes within 1 horsepower my best core, so it's not like a big deal. And you know, you've seen my videos up on my private test road, scaring the bears out there, waking them up. And you know, it's still loud. When you're wide open, it still screams, because it's just a type of engine that it is. It likes to rev. So there we go. Let's start it up. It sounds really nice. It's mellower. What's nice about the street core, I don't know if you can even see me. What's nice about the street core is it still comes alive when you get on it. It still sounds great. But when you roll off the throttle and you're at steady cruise or light throttle load around town, it knocks the edge off. It's probably 3 to 5 dB quieter when you're easy on it or cruising on the highway than the comp cores, or the little 10-inch bad boy, of course, is loud. But you got to remember, I make a really nice dB killer, billet machined one. It's an optional deal. And I spent months with that thing, with how many holes, diameter of the holes. Most mufflers that you see come with one. All that really is a 1 inch or a 3/4 inch tube shoved down inside that bolts in, and it makes a big difference in the power. Huge. Usually it's pretty restrictive. Where mine, you know, you'll lose a couple horsepower, but it's pretty efficient. It cuts it down another 3 to 4, maybe almost 5 dB. So that's my billet whole shot dB killer. Maybe I'll show you that when we're done. Okay, let me start it up for you. So here we go, 14-inch Street. Nice difference. How much more mellow it is if you're light on the throttle. That's the one I'll be running. It'll be black and beautiful. So anyway, that's pretty much the overview of this thing. What else can I tell you? Let me grab a dB killer and show you real quick. Be right back. Alright, here's the whole shot dB killer. It's a CNC machine, 6061 T6 aluminum doodad. Anyway, so you got the certain holes in there, hole pattern, one in the center. Comes with like a high temp O-ring, which really doesn't really seal it. It just kind of, you have to make, the tips aren't completely round, because when you roll the bead on the tip, I'll show you. Okay, it distorts the material just a little bit. So anyway, there's a method to it. So all you do is you drill one hole. I have a little pictorial thing on my website telling you how to do it. You drill one hole, and then it's an Allen on the bottom with a little stainless Allen with the lock washer. And of course this is the back, and so it kind of goes in there. Looks, I don't want to drop it inside, but kind of about like there. That's about where it goes. Bitchin' looking, and they work. So, you know, the deal about that is if you want to take a trip, you don't care about 2 horsepower, big frickin' deal, right? So if you want to go for a long trip or a weekend ride or something, you're not racing around the mountains, you can stick that in there, and it's a lot quieter. I do make a little tool. It's just a pair of cheap vice grips that we buy, and it has machine pins to take it in and out. I sell those too, because otherwise you grab it with pliers and you'll slip and you mar the thing up. So anyway, I don't know what else I can tell you at this point. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and run it like it is. As far as the polishing, I'm hitting things with my tripod. Hold on to this thing. The polishing, I think I'll leave it like it is. I like the Lextech header better, the fully polished. But I'm going to run this thing, see how it holds up. I'll take care of it and see if it just stays looking like this, nice, except it's going to turn gold. And we'll play it by ear. So, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'll probably go ahead. I wasn't really going to do this, but I think before I do any airbox mods, pull the thing down, get the ECU sent off to Chris Moore at More Mafia. Let's get this thing on the dyno. Let's just compare it to what I made before. Problem is the temperature. I've got to get the room up to like in the upper 70s, 78, 79, 80. And it's a little cool right now, but we'll see. So, all right, I'll talk to you on the next video. And if you like this thing, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, hit all the good stuff that everybody else does. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, take care. Thanks.